Well, it turned out to be a pretty rainy day, definitely a rainy drive on the way to the Meadows. I did a video earlier talking about all the 2-year-olds. I want to get that out of the way. I had a lot on my plate today, a lot more than I thought, actually. I wanted to get to the Meadows tonight. I was going to stay here tonight. I didn't want to get up early tomorrow. I wanted to be here. I know that Tim had broke his wrist, or hurt his wrist, and I told him I'd come in and go with the horses. If he needed any help jogging or training or qualifying some horses, I could help him out in that regard. Wanted to get a real good look. I wanted to be there to warm up insider trading. I want to be there to warm up for the schooler, Spitfire Overseas. I want to get a feel for how they are right now in real time. And I thought that was very, very important. So I said, you know what? I'm going to come to the Meadows tonight. Stay overnight here and be ready and available first thing in the morning. So here I am. Now, that wasn't all that was going on today. I had a lot going on today. There were some horses I was watching. I was watching a couple of lather ups sell. Bill Donnelly bought one of them, our client. The other one I thought went for, in fairness, probably what she should have went for, but a lot more than I was going to pay for. So we didn't get any yearlings today. That wasn't the only sale going on. I was also watching 4 horses in the preferred sale. Now this time of year, I told everybody 2 weeks ago that there would be horses coming out of the woodwork. Now, that could have been sire stake horses that weren't quite good enough. You see a couple of them trickling down onto on gate, and you'll see that in the next probably preferred sale also. You'll see horses that just aren't fitting in to any particular stable's program. Now, what I mean by that, that can mean a lot of things. Just get to what it means in this case. Now, the 4 horses I was looking at today, 2 of them went more than what I thought they would bring, and one of the 4 I wasn't super keen on. I liked the horse, thought the horse was all right, but it wasn't like I have to have this horse. It was really going to boil down to money, as it generally does, but in this particular horse's instance, it was. That horse went for a little too much money. I let the horse go. Next was a couple of a trotting filly. I'll tell you who it was Yuli Blue Chip. I thought that she was going to bring a little less money than she did. I'm not saying she wasn't worth it. She was a $165,000 yearling, and I believe if you go back and look, probably one of my top picks from the sale 2 years ago. Maybe not top picks, but definitely a high up pick in the sale from 2 years ago. If my memory serves me, this was a horse that I thought would go for a lot less money, though. I thought that this horse would be a good stable filly if she brought X. And now that I'm talking about it, I think I remember the horse very, very well. I'm going to go back on my iPad and look at the results and look at what I have written about Yuli Blue Chip. I know exactly who Yuli Blue Chip was. Yuli Blue Chip was a filly that I liked. I just thought she'd bring a lot less money than she did. Not saying she wasn't worth it. They are selling her, so I guess maybe she wasn't in their mind. The thing that kind of threw me off was I could see they could say that she was worth X amount of dollars because of her residual broodmare value. And maybe it is there. Maybe it is. But I wasn't buying broodmares today. I was buying a racehorse today, or potentially buying a racehorse today. So what her broodmare value or any component of broodmare value elevated the price had no interest to me. She was worth X amount of dollars as a racehorse, and that was that. And that was quite a bit less than what they got for it today. They got good money for her. Let me see what they got for Yuli. $56,000. They bought. Oh, Rob Tribbett bought the horse, so that horse was bought to be bred by All American Standardbreds. There you go. So as I was right, there was some added value for from a breeder's standpoint, but not from what we were looking for. There was 2 horses that Lindy Farms was selling. Now, before I get to the other one, it was bred in Connecticut. It was trained by Antonacci's trainer, so I assume. I don't want to get this wrong now. I would assume that agent for Lindy Farms. There you go. So the owner was like KR Breeding Incorporated or LLC Connecticut, but it says owned by Antonacci Farms, so or Lindy Farms. So there were 2 horses. Interloper, Lindy's Interloper was the first one. Showed a lot of breaks. Again, non-winners at 2 type of horse, nice horse, but did have quite a bit more starts than WALLOP, who was a Walner later on. Now, when you look at Lindy's Interloper, as I said, lots of breaks. I'll just break it down for the way I saw it. Didn't mind his gait. Now, he showed one start with hobbles on. His video here, or his picture here has none. 7 lifetime starts, 1 win. Trotted in 57 his last start. It looks like he was coming off a few breaks. Got him qualified and just said keep him safe, I would suspect, for the sale, because they raced him the numbers of 2,500 instead of the numbers of 2. So Lindy's Interloper I liked, but I liked WALLOP a lot more. Now, you guys will remember back, we talk about the placements of the sales, and it doesn't matter whether it's 14 horses or 1,400 horses. How that sale breaks down is important. I priced Lindy's Interloper virtually right around that 25,000 mark. But as I look down a little bit, right, to number 12, which was WALLOP. This horse at the time was at 31 or 30,000. Here is a horse with 4 lifetime starts. Didn't ever wear any hobbles, I don't think. He might have worn 1 start, but his last start was a winner in 58-1 with no hobbles on. And when I stopped the picture and blew it up, just wore an open bridle with brace bandages behind. I did notice he was throwing his head a little bit in the race, but it seemed to have pop. It seemed to have lots of pop. And when you looked at the horses upside to upside, horse to horse, it looked like WALLOP for anything less than 40 was probably as good or better a purchase than Lindy's Interloper for 25 or 26,000. So as the horse stood at 25, I was the underbidder, went for 25, so I was out at 24. I opted to stay out at 24 rather than jump back in, and I did price the horse 26 or around there, so I could have. But when I looked down those next 5 horses and hips, there's WALLOP at 30. Now, generally what happens is the last 2 minutes the horses take off. But I'm thinking I'm going to go to 40. So you have 32 to 40, or 30,000 to 40, where you could go. I felt comfortable that we may be able to acquire WALLOP, and acquiring WALLOP for that amount was worth more to me than buying Lindy's Interloper. That's how I saw it. Now, I can tell you all I liked about WALLOP. I think a component of what I liked about him also is that he's eligible to that Massachusetts Sire Stakes that is down there. So he's a Walner that's eligible to those stake races. Now, I'm not going to try and sell you on that because there's a lot of horses that are eligible to, that particular Sire Stake program now. Not as few as there was in previous years. So I don't know the number. I'm sure somebody will email it to me. But nevertheless, a pretty good-looking horse. Now, you may say to yourself, well, I mean, they're selling him. This is the most important part of the sale, and I think this is important to understand, is that Lindy Farms, I don't blame them, Lindy Farms only wants the best of the best. They're not interested in a non-winners of 2 trotter that won in 58 unless you can show them a path to 54, 55, 53. A Sire Stake horse. Can he go to New Jersey? He's a Walner. Can he go to Kentucky? He's a Walner. No, can't. So, what does that make him as a horse, and what does that make him worth to Lindy Farms? Well, what Lindy Farms is after, we're after 2 different things. I just told you that we were after an overnight horse day, a solid non-winners of 2 horse. That's what I was after. To get a Walner, doesn't wear any boots, any poles, any hobbles, just wears an open bridle, just took his lifetime mark, his 4th lifetime start in 158 at Plain Ridge. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking for. 100%. So what they weren't looking for today is exactly what we were looking for today. I guess that falls under the very blunt file of one man's trash and one man's treasure. What they were looking to get rid of today was exactly what I was looking to acquire. So it worked out well for us. We ended up with WALLOP, a 3-year-old Walner colt with 4 lifetime starts. The last one was a win in 158 at Plain Ridge. He is eligible to New Jersey, Kentucky, and Massachusetts. He will stay, I suspect, will stay with Mark Beckwith in Plain Ridge. I don't see any reason to run him around anywhere else. So he will stay there for now. We'll see how he races, and we'll go from there. But I think a hell of a pickup when I look at all that took place today, whether it was the yearlings or a racehorse or anything else. There are a few very interesting-looking horses out there. We'll talk about one maybe tomorrow or the next day. But for right now, I think WALLOP was as straight shot as you're going to get today. I thought that's exactly, probably a little bit less than he was worth, exactly what we were looking to spend, exactly the type of horse we were looking to buy, and exactly what we got. So, very happy with the way that today has gone. Excited about tomorrow. Obviously, putting a lot of pressure on myself. I want to get insider trading qualified, but not in such a manner to stretch her out either, because race is Saturday. So that is the goal for tomorrow as far as the schooling and training goes. I think that'll be paint by numbers for the whole day. Then I will go home, and probably one of the busiest weeks I'll have this year so far will start at that point. So with that, I'll let you go. We'll talk to you all very soon. WALLOP, the newest horse to join TheStable.ca, and I don't see a way that we can go wrong here. Well, there's always a way to go wrong. Don't kid yourself. I just don't see it yet today. So with that, take care. Talk to you soon. Hope we all have a great day at the track.